Where are my long notes?
Streams as a service. I don't believe in streams as a service. Nice.
Ow.
Hey, no, that's fine. That's valid. That's valid. You know, that's perfectly fine. You have the right to do that. So, all right. Okay. Wow. We actually, yeah, we're naturally just going along through all these points that we wanted to cover,
Yeah,
just
we
kind of automatically. No. We'll go back to some of the things eventually as well. But so we've talked about, you know, the predatory loot stuff. We've talked about the redemption story of Battlefront 2. Let me bring up Marvel Avengers because you kind of started talking about that earlier.
Okay, we're going back.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit that. Marvel Avengers to me was one of the biggest disappointments that I've experienced in a long time. And to me, it is the most blatant example of, well, yeah, of not only of garbage, but just like how, you know, it's kind of like Battlefront 2 in the sense of like they took a franchise, one of the biggest franchises that is available, and then they bastardized it and only focused on elements that they thought they would be able to monetize. Because in the case of Marvel Avengers, it was a complete flop. Another perfect example of why it is that you don't prioritize monetizing your game before you focus on the actual things that would make the game better.
Right.
So they didn't even monetize correctly because no one cares about the stuff that they monetize in Marvel Avengers.
They didn't really monetize much, to be honest. I didn't get a chance to.
Exactly.
Before they even. I'm gonna start by saying here, Marvel Avengers is the best game ever. No.
Nah, hold on. I have a few things I want to say about Marvel Avengers because I've had a little bit more of a personal experience with this.
I can't say that with a straight face though.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's a lot of things we can get to that Splash Cannon, but I mean, I don't know if this is the right episode. Well, you know,
how would I make Avengers better? I'll tell you right now, actually. So there's some subjective problems that people complain about Marvel Avengers, like they don't like, you know, the voice actors for them, or they don't like the appearance of them, because you know there's a lot of like Marvel fanboys now that just want it to be like the movies. But I've always wanted to. I just want to go ahead and make clear, by the way, that just so that everyone knows, there's a Marvel universe outside of the cinematic universe. You know, the comic books have existed since like what, the 20s, 30s, 40s. So I plead with everyone that I get it. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is amazing, but please stop trying to make everything the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's more things outside of that. You know, moving along from that, legitimate problems with the game. So to me, they made a decent narrative. I didn't finish it because it started to be unbearable to me to a certain point, not necessarily because of the story itself. Like there was a couple of nitpicky things here and there, like, you know, Iron Man's password. By the way, there's going to be some spoilers here, so if you don't want the campaign spoiled, maybe consider skipping to fast forwarding if you're listening to this on YouTube or you know, Spotify, whatever.
Oh, we should have said that earlier with Destiny.
Yeah, don't worry. Well, that's fine. Now you know we're learning. First episode. But you know, there's a couple of nitpicks that you can have, like Kamala Khan discovering that Iron Man's password for his super secret mega server is "I am Iron Man." And whatever, yeah, you know, maybe some people argue that, you know, she's not like she's weirdly like too mature, you know, despite her thing supposed to be that she's a teenager or whatever. That's fine. I was personally enjoying the story up until like the whole games as a service element started coming up to the surface. Back in the day, whenever you played a superhero game, you know, and one of the games that did it best, you know, Spider-Man has always been, usually Spider-Man games have always been fantastic for making you feel like a superhero. Same thing with the Batman Arkham series. Pretty amazing for the most part on actually making you feel like Batman, like a superhero. The first mission in Marvel Avengers is one where you get to play as all the different superheroes in a very high action, high octane environment where explosions are going on all around you and you're flying in and all the different superheroes are coming together and you're playing with them and there's smooth transitions between all of them. And, you know, coincidentally, because it's the beginning of the game, everyone's a level 1 enemy. So you're coming in and you're Hulk and you're just killing dudes with a hit or two and you're throwing people around. Everything is crazy. You're jumping around. And that felt amazing. That actually felt fun. It felt like the Avengers. You know, you had your first boss fight there against Taskmaster. That was fine. And you know, the story's progressing and it's good up until when you do the first mission of Marvel's Avengers. You have to start going to the war table, kind of being a little bit of was it Destiny that was kind of like that? Or I'm thinking of something else. No, whatever. Well, you have to start then to access the story missions, going to a war table, right? Because the it does kind of like the hub, like the Destiny hub thing, where that's where you go to get your missions and everything. And that already started breaking a little bit of immersion. But you could just think of it as, oh no, when the Avengers are planning what to do next, kind of like in the Avengers movie. Okay, whatever, that's fine. So, but the first mission outside of what was shown at the demo pretty much already starts to have those classic games as a service tropes. Like, I chose Hulk. You know, you land in a frozen tundra and you think, okay, I'm gonna go kill bad guys, I'm gonna feel great. You hop around and there's these weird platforms placed everywhere. It was just bad map design. I don't know what kind of a tundra just has random, you know, floating.
Oh, mostly that aim is there. And
yeah, whatever. But the point is, the first objective for your game is that you sit at a place and hold it for 5 minutes for seemingly no reason.
Right. Objective.
And then you fight 5 waves of enemies or whatever. That was horrible. A lot of missions are like that. And then to make things worse, for some reason, they started introducing like aspects into the campaign where it's like, oh yeah, we need to wait for Tony to fix his suit. So go see what it is that you could go do at the war table or whatever. And then like, if you don't want to play the same mission over and over again, because it's like the same missions you would play multiplayer, you'd have to maybe just consider doing like the practice training missions or something that have a really high difficulty spike and all that. And it was bad. So the point that I'm trying to get to is that instead of making a story that flows more smoothly, or here's another problem that Marvel's Avengers had: the enemies are way too spongy. Like I'm Thor, I'm Hulk, and I can't, like, I'm fighting soldiers with regular guns, and it's taking 5 combos to kill them. Like, why not balance your game before you worry about putting stupid skins for me to buy?
Right. You
know? Or how about not interrupting the flow of your story with the stupid multiplayer missions that you don't even want to play with your friends up until that. Like, most people just want to get a story done by themselves if it's not co-op. So why are you forcing us to do these dumb multiplayer missions in between and stuff too? It's like the focus of just trying to monetize the Marvel brand is what ruined Avengers for me. Like, it very clearly, like, the frame rate issues in Marvel's Avengers are dumb. So you asked me, how would I make Avengers better? Making it run at 60 FPS or 30 for a start. Yeah, smooth. Fixing all the bugs, because that game, this is the point that we wrote down here, we didn't really cover. Games as a Service has enabled the ability to ship a game now and fix it later, which if your boss, you know, let's be clear, if your boss tells you, Daniel, I need you to finish, oh, my bad.
Why Daniel?
Yeah, no, you know, Daniel, Nicholas,
I guess it's just
yeah, Alex, whoever, you know, I'm just using a name, I'm just throwing in whatever name. If you're Jordan, if your boss tells you finish this task, you're gonna think, okay, I should do it now. If your boss tells you no, but do it in a week, most of the time, 100% of us aren't gonna do it right at the moment because maybe we have more pressing matters, things of that nature. That's what games as a service does. It enables people to just finish things at the last moment, or not even finish it because, oh yeah, we can patch it. So they send out broken garbage, but you bet that you could buy skins day one. Whoa! You might not be able to play the game. Literally, I remember I was playing as the Hulk, and there's this mechanic where you can grab 2 soldiers and then smack them together with your hands, right? And I was like, okay, that's like, it seems to be his most powerful asset. So let me just use it. And you know, the moment that more than 5 enemies is on screen, the game goes down to be a PowerPoint presentation that runs at 5 FPS. Hey, thank you for the follow, Mr. Sololongo. How you doing? It goes down to like 5 FPS, a PowerPoint freaking presentation. And the moment I clap 2 enemies together, my PlayStation 4 dies. I couldn't even close the application. Like, that's what games as a service has enabled developers to do now. I think it's great that developers can pull extra money to put into the game, especially when they treat it with love and respect. But it's incentivized developers to basically it's basically incentivize them to ignore the things that would traditionally make a game good and just focus on pulling as much money from the players as possible. And Marvel's Avengers is a perfect example of that. That's what I think.
Right. I mean, and you have a point, but I want to also point out, you know, as we've seen time go on, like as games have tried to copy the Destiny formula and try to make, you know, the live service thing, updates, DLCs, and all that, you know, we've noticed already with Avengers, with Anthem, how lopsided the winnings of Division 2 has been for Ubisoft, that these systems aren't necessarily working how everybody thought they were at first. You know, especially with Marvel not making its cut, you know, dropping the player base by the second week to like almost nothing, like 800 players. It's like abysmal for that type of game. Watching Anthem fail completely, it just proves that if they want to make the system work, they have to make a good game. The system works. They live up to it. It's what you keep saying. They need to provide a good story or a good system. No frame drops, no glitches, no random crashes. They need to provide something worthwhile.
Yeah, like
it's the only way. I'm not gonna pay for costumes if I can't even get to them because the game's so trash to start off, and I'm not gonna pay for them if the game's trash.
That's true, exactly. Now, hey there, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Co-op Syndicate. Make sure to check out both the Co-op Syndicate main channel and clip channel to get all of our content. If you haven't already, please consider liking, subscribing, and ringing the bell as well so that you never miss out on any future episodes. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your friends and family, or you could also share it on any social media website of your liking. If you guys would prefer to listen to our podcast on the go instead of viewing the full episode on YouTube, consider checking the Co-op Syndicate podcast out at TheCo-OpSyndicate.buzzsprout.com. We host the Co-op Syndicate on Buzzsprout, and it is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere where you listen to your podcasts. If you'd like to watch us as we record the podcast live, you could actually give us a follow at twitch.tv/Co-op-Syndicate. We go live every Thursday and Saturday at 4:30 p.m. If you'd like to support the channel, you could consider subscribing to us with Amazon Prime for free over there. If you'd like to participate in community events and talk to other members of the community, consider joining our Discord, which I will leave the links to in the description down below. If you would like to support the podcast and get rewarded in return, consider pledging to our podcast at patreon.com/Co-op Syndicate, where you can support us at many different levels. There are multiple tiers that offer all sorts of different rewards for the level that you choose to support us at, including Discord privileges, merch, gift cards, and much more. Also, if you would just like the merch directly without pledging to the Patreon, you could buy our merch at merch.streamelements.com/Co-op Syndicate. Lastly, if you'd like to keep up with Jordan or I outside of the Co-op Syndicate, you can find us on every social media platform under Michael C. Moore for myself or JG_Mark1 for Jordan. Thank you guys again, and until next time, happy listening.